Brian Smith and welcome to Common Sense.
Hi, I'm Jasmin. Welcome to Common Sense.
Hi, I'm Troy. Welcome to Common Sense.
Hi, Candacy. Welcome to Common Sense.
Hi, Matthew. Welcome to Common Sense. Good evening, everyone, and Happy New Year to everyone. I know it's very late, but this is our first episode for 2023, and I can guarantee you that this year's edition of Common Sense will be bigger and better and grander than anything that we've ever done before. And we are in the season of love. It's Valentine's Day is around the corner. And that's why we have two married couples in the house. And we're coming live from Java Coffee Bar, who's provided some excellent coffee and wine and cinnamon rolls and all this fancy stuff. And I just want to shout out Miss Evie and the entire team at Java for providing this beautiful place for us to record. And I also want to shout out my sponsors, Lucozade, M&M Stockade, Georgetown Capital, The Little Give Box, and Virtual Solutions Guyana for making Common Sense possible. I would always say that Common Sense is not just a business show. When people think about it, they think we just talk about business, but money affects every area of your life.
True.
Relationship, family, friends, education, everything money is involved in. So we don't just want to limit ourselves to business, and that's why we have such an important topic like the one that we're discussing this afternoon. And the title of the episode is, What's Love Got to Do with It?
That is true.
Now, across the world, especially in the United States, and unfortunately in Guyana, we don't have reliable statistics to prove this, but finance is the number one reason for divorce. Many times we think it's infidelity or abuse, but repeatedly statistics prove that issues over money is the number one reason for divorce among married couples. So it's very important that we have a discussion like we're about to have to ensure that as couples we know how to effectively manage our finance and how to overcome any issues that may arise in our marriages. And I'm going to give the couples the opportunity to take us through this session. I'm not married as yet, so
Soon come.
soon come. I have the experts with me this afternoon.
Experts. Wow.
Share their personal,
Not even 5 years. Come on.
share their personal experiences, and hopefully, I know that we will learn from their experiences and probably learn how to make our marriages better. So I'm going to ask Brian to begin our conversation this afternoon. And I just want to know how you met Jasmin and how
I have one story. He has another story.
both of you guys are sure.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Mine is Facebook.
Okay.
He thought I looked like Kathy, and then he came in. That's why he always saying Kathy and lunch and all over the
I
place,
think
right?
he asked Brian.
Go ahead. But mine was shorter. But anyway, go ahead.
Lovely. So thank you very much, Matthew, for inviting us. I met the lovely Jasmin Harris at gym.
Tell them what I said.
I went to follow another friend to gym, to
Sound like
help
something I
her
would say.
to
So that's what I
come
believe.
along and motivate her. And I saw this young lady going extra in the gym.
Always.
And I was like, oh wow, she has a lot of energy. And from that moment, understanding my personality, somebody who's very laid back and chill, I said, somebody like this I would love to have in my life to push me, to put me to a day.
How much years ago was that?
To push me and allow me to, achieve my best potential.
But the miss you don't pass you.
That is how I met her. And, since that day, I've always, I seen her at a distance and, she always had an attitude. She didn't see it yet, but I know God had to speak to her to allow her to accept me into her life.
So let me tell you the story that you're trying to say. So I met him so apparently, and this is why I believe this story to be true. Because he said, I tell Marco, what are you doing in Zumba class? There's a woman you come to see. And that sounded just like me. So I was like, okay. And then this was like 2012, 2011, way back. And then I didn't really get involved or know about who he
You
was
don't like me?
until 2015, 16,
Yes.
somewhere around there.
Then,
This Facebook thing. When he jumped in my DMs. Slide in.
It was like back in 2012, 11. Yeah, so my friend had a birthday party, he invited, a few of his closest friends, and then he formed, this when Facebook groups were popping. And he formed a Facebook group and he wanted to, have this whole friend dynamic. And I realized that I knew everyone in the group except, this Candacy Babigans person. So I sent her a friend request on Facebook, she accepted. We didn't talk. We followed each other on Twitter. And the night we was tweeting up a storm, right? So I noticed she tweeted some Eminem lyrics. This is my favorite rapper. So I, slid in the DMs. Wait, you like Eminem? She's like, yeah, I like Eminem. And we started talking. It was completely platonic at the point. We just started talking as friends. Yeah. So it wasn't a relationship or an interest until like long after.
Contrary to popular belief.
Beautiful. And how has the marriage life been thus far? How long have you guys been married for?
We have been married for 4 years. So far, much like, so you would have seen a little bit of Troy's personality, whether you guys know him personally or you know him through Facebook or just from interacting with him. Now, Troy is very laid back. Troy is I am the extra person that's going to want to do this and going to want to do that.
That's a constant.
And do every possible thing you can think of on Christmas or Valentine's. I'm the extra person. So that has really allowed me to, one, be my best self in the relationship, in the marriage more so. And like he enjoys the ride. Yeah. You know what I mean? And there's no objection. So
She adds the color to my she adds the color to my canvas, does it?
Jasmin?
We're going to be married for 5 years come February 10. This is me reminding him. Because like their marriage also, I am the extra one in our marriage. I'm the, we got to take pictures. Yes. We got a family tradition.
Correct.
We got to carry the child to the seawall. If it's up to Brian, we would be in the house whole day, every day, and not do one thing.
Yeah,
we
absolutely.
do a thing, right? So I think we balance each other out very perfectly because of my extraness and his lack of any type of extraness.
I think more of what she's trying to say is that I temper her extra.
Wow. And you allow for it also.
Yeah.
So I do allow it at times too. Because I do acknowledge that, I'm not the most exciting person that exists out here.
Yeah, and what we've realized with marriage is like it's very much a give and take. And knowing when you're taking too much and knowing when you're giving too much.
It's all about compromise.
Yes.
Absolutely, that's the name of the game.
The defining word for marriage, compromise.
Yes.
Yeah.
All right, so during your dating stage, because I figured that you guys would have dated.
Yeah, a bit.
Now we just jump into bed. Like, we should get married.
Were there any conversations, and at what point were there conversations about finances?
Jump. I'm sorry. I don't play with money.
Like from the first date?
Our first date was at Gravity. Gravity?
I can't remember that.
It was Gravity. It was the elections at
What was it? Those government
LGE?
things, yes.
Yes, it was the LGE. This was the first time we met in person after he slid in my DMs, right? So I think it was 2016 we met. And then I think we usually talk about monies because your girl like money, right? I'm going to be very open and honest. I cannot... What was the song that say, you can't make love on a hungry belly? Well, I believe very much in that song. And I think in order for marriages to work, you definitely have to have some sort of communication about money. And if we're not on the same level, and we're not, right? But we have an understanding because I am nope, that's too much money. Him, 40,000, yeah, let's get it. And I'm here like, I could get 3 of those.
Girl.
I got change.
Girl. Listen.
1 second.
Okay, go ahead.
To answer your question, Matthew.
Oh, wow. I didn't answer it.
We started our conversation on money very early with her speaking about, monies and, spending money. My position on the matter is that, look, I give you my entire paycheck and you deal with it
I
how
love
you want
it
to deal
too.
with it. I don't handle finances.
That's when you got married. Or
This was
No, this is why we're dating.
Giving her a paycheck.
Yeah, before we
he
dated.
literally gave me a his card.
Yeah. Before
He's
we're
like,
dating.
here it is. And this was not even a month into dating.
So I just jumped into that. I gave him. I know if I would like my salary in a month, like this is it.
This
You
is
deal
why
with
he
it.
abounds. Because,
Right?
you know,
So that's how we handled money during the dating phase.
So you recognize that she was better with finances?
Yes, and also, it's I won't say entrapment, but if you have all the money, you can't come and tell me
Right.
I want this.
Right. I feel you. Right.
You gotta
right.
Right? So that's how we handled money during
He's smart.
the dating phase.
Troy?
We ever had any explicit conversations about
I think
finances?
we were the opposite because when we started off, we were both young and broke, and I volunteering and just getting I volunteer and I just getting a stipend. He, so for us it was never like a verbal conversation, but like we're like going on dates. We were always like very 50-50. And I know the girls are going to eat my head off because I know a lot of the younger girls are like 50-50 with a man. Excuse me? Like, but how I was raised had a lot to do with how I saw finances when dating somebody, or you get in serious, you're in a relationship, whatever. And I was always raised to like, listen, if you got money, stay your ass home. Like, stay home. And I took that into relationships. So it was like, okay, I want to go here, there, wherever for a date or to hang out or to do whatever. Troy, can you make it? I'll cover this time. You can cover next time. And that's how it's always been between us, straight into marriage, from dating to marriage.
And I feel like when we started around the same place, financially and so on. So it made a lot more sense to do it that way. Like it's like, no pun intended, common sense. It's common sense. If I ain't got it like that, you ain't got it like that, how one are we supporting?
we keep it up in the joke.
Right.
Exactly.
Now, Candacy brought up an important point that I want to touch on before I move the conversation along. She spoke about how she was brought up. And if you go to a financial therapist or a therapist in general,
I didn't even know those existed.
those things exist. Probably not in Guyana yet.
Nice.
But the first thing they would ask you, or the first thing they would go, is back to the roots.
How you came up.
To see why there's so much contention and discord in the marriage. And Jasmin said she's a girl and she loves her money. And is it safe to say that the family that you grew up in, particularly if a woman is exposed to a father that is providing everything for her, gives her everything, logically speaking, or more than usual, she would expect that in her marriage. So do you see any patterns from your childhood and your family life that you have taken into your marriage?
So my parents, so my dad and my mom, both of them are pastors. So dad became a pastor like way back in the day when we were like 5 or 6, right? I don't know about y'all out there, but my father wasn't the money maker pastor, right? He was very much supported by mom because mom had her business, right? So they used to work together with the business at mom because she has a very entrepreneurial spirit. What I realized in our marriage, and this was like after, he said like after Brian lost his job, right? And it's like, I became like the sole breadwinner type thing in our marriage. And it kind of like came full circle.
Yeah.
Because like that, I saw that with mom. And mom wasn't this, why is making money today? You better do this, right? So it kind of allowed me to know after experiencing this, because since 2020, Brian hasn't had a 9 to 5, right? But we still support each other. We have 2 businesses, Dragonfly Heart. This is us just shouting that out, right?
Shameless
plug, right? So there's a stable 9 to 5. So there's a career woman in the relationship, and then there's an entrepreneurial side of it where we assist each other with growing our own self. Because trust me, we make entrepreneur thing that money, right? So I think because of that unconscious learning, it allowed me to know not make my husband, because of course he's the man, right? But not make him feel like less than himself, or go and wash them mirrors and cook for me and that type of thing. But we very much have shared responsibilities even in the home, because both of us are working. So he can wash the clothes, I can wash the wares, he can clean up the house, I can cook,
Right.
or the food, right? And that type of thing. So I think even though I didn't know it, I was being prepared for something like this to happen if I got married. Well, when I got married.
Beautiful. I think it's very important, and just want to piggyback on that a bit more, because it's becoming a common situation now, given women have more opportunities now. They're more entrepreneurial because of rights and so forth. And many times, women are earning more than the man, are becoming the breadwinner, quote unquote, for the house. How, I could remember in my last, I did an episode with Men and Money, and Trevon was sharing about how when he didn't have it, the woman made him know that he doesn't have it. How do you as a woman ensure that you don't create friction in this relationship by making him know that, hey, I see one with the money here?
So when I got it, I got it. But when my husband got it, he got it. When my husband got it, he got it. Right? So when Brian, he just come be like this, and then that's it. As soon as he get it, he gives it to me. Now I'm not gonna say that, sometimes you don't feel like this burden, because there's this unrealistic mindset within society that the man got to be this provider.
Absolutely.
And if you want your hair did, your shoes bought,
He
your
needs
clothes
to.
this, and that he got to do it. But the thing about it is like, no, that's not a thing. Are you educated? Can you help this relationship? Can you help to buy the things that probably your business needs? Like invest and input into that, so that at the end of the day, like, you're able to make it. And the thing about Brian is, like I said before, he doesn't make me feel an undue burden, because as soon as we get paid from whatever it is that we may be doing in our entrepreneurial life, he ensures that he can pay the bill, he can put the gas in the car, he can do whatever it is. But we still need that sustainability, and thank God for the 9 to 5 to get things done.
If I
How
may,
do I not make you
yes,
feel?
if I may, to answer the question.
Yes, there you go. You keep saying that like I'm not answering the question.
Answer the question.
Wow.
So I think that what happens is that there is an unrealistic expectation by females, socialized by media and some dead people peer pressure, of an expectation that a man must
tradition.
be this. All right? But it's unrealistic, especially in the new world where women are getting more opportunities. You have businesses, people are looking for women-owned businesses. That is a place where people are sending funding. So I would say that in our relationship, she does not make it seem as if, because I make the money or more money than you, that you're in any way belittled. She might involve me in the things that she might be doing, whether it be if she has a business idea or something to do, she'll involve me. So as much as I might not be able to financially contribute at that time, buying a piece of equipment for the business, she allows me to use my brain or my intellect. So I'm a part of the process in ensuring that we have a joint success. Because not everything is about necessarily money.
Absolutely.
You can enrich a business or enrich your lives by ideas, thinking things through. So that's how she allows me to, still feel like an equal partner moving forward.
Interesting.
Beautiful. Is there anything that you guys would want to contribute in that question?
Again, compromise was something that we mentioned earlier. And I feel like growing up in a home where I saw two hardworking parents, one of the first things that I learned early in life is that you need two people contributing. It might not always be two people contributing financially like you guys touched on, but there are instances where, okay, I may have to pull the financial weight, but she handles more of the burden in this area. But collaboratively together, we do it. For example, right now she's pursuing her master's. And I told her, like, if you feel your worth is this, and you don't want to be paid that, then you're under no pressure to do a job that ain't paying you your value. I'll have that support because I know if it was the other way around, she would do it as well. So, yeah.
All right. So
Find the right person to marry. That's
Also very important. I mean, I don't want to touch on that too much,
Yes.
but a problem or a concept we need to start thinking about is getting married or getting into relationships strategically. It might sound like a bad thing, but it's not a bad thing. Sometimes you just get caught up in how it might look,
Love is not the only thing.
how it might smell, how it might sound, but it's not sustainable. And so we sometimes be picky till we pick piss, and then we wondering why this thing ain't working out. But because you didn't pick based on a future. And I ain't saying the mama's getting money now.
No,
The
you
man
got
got an idea
Yeah.
that you could see this idea is able to make money. Or she got potential, she driven, she might
Right.
not
The
got the money now.
ambition, yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Maybe she got money now to go to UG or to get her studies done, but she got a dream. She ain't want go.
Out.
Yeah. She want go out all the time. It's all about the fashion.
She don't outside every single night.
I'm disparaging the place. I like the place.
No, I don't mean the place, but just outside in general.
Literally and figuratively.
But you gotta look at key signs within. This is why, like my mother and father, they always used to encourage group dating, because if you go out in groups, then you see attitudes and behaviors that you can't necessarily fake when you have that one-on-one dating experience. Because somebody could say, oh, I don't need that, but then when they go, I would never do that, they can't get me to do X, Y, Z.
Oh, you put so much in the tub, man. We put so much.
Yes. Right? So you always gotta look at and don't let it all be about hearts in your eyes and
Absolutely.
stuff when you're dating. You gotta look at the real things, like every common sense, right? Every week they want to go out and do something. Every time they're going out, I reach a stage I gotta get a different outfit, but for this one, this is an old outfit. Because we get big now, we get children.
You can't just go all the places.
You got to put your money, so you can't go do your face, by the people that normally do it. So you do it yourself, but you gotta look at those traits, and not every single time you going out. So asking for a new dress. So asking for a new shoe. Want to the black shoe? Well, this thing pink. I want a nice orange to pop it.
Buy strategically so you can buy things that are interchangeable.
Yes.
You can go to other events that you might not need to spend.
Yes.
The way I like to look at it, it's cool. No, it's cool. The way I like to look at it, I like to say, don't go for somebody who could just be an overhead in your life. Like if this person is simply just an overhead, you don't need to have the person in your life.
No.
assets over liability.
Yes.
All every day.
Just get some plugs for you, man. It's common sense to have compromised relationships.
Back to the conversation. Would you say that those things are deal breakers and red flags, and a man or woman should run once he starts to see those patterns?
Have the conversation.
It's a red flag.
Have the conversation.
I mean, to be fair, you can't just throw the baby the bad water because the female might be a bit.
Why it's just a female?
Sorry, the partner might be. Right? Let me be equitable.
Yes,
Make your point.
That the partner might be a bit financially irresponsible or not contributing in any way. You have to talk about it.
Like you got the iPhone 13 and you want to go buy the 14.
Relationships are also about also learning about each other and growing each other. Because you don't have all the answers. You might be a little bit on the extreme of being too frugal. So I think the conversation should be had,
opposites.
and then you got to look at the reasonable expectation as to when you should see these attitudes being curbed. If it's not being curbed, then we making sense.
Don't marry somebody that got the
More
same.
understanding.
Yeah, don't marry somebody that got the same habits as you. So like, if you see some like both of y'all like go out. Let's find somebody else. Both of y'all like steal. Ugh.
Not really.
There needs to be balance.
There
Yeah.
needs to be balance.
Strategic dating or strategic partner investigation.
For me, some red flags are weighted heavier than others. Like, that's certain things that I can't compromise on. Like, if I see this as a red flag, I ain't even trying to change it in you. Like,
You gone.
Yeah, like, no, for real, that's how I do it. I personally don't believe in changing people. Like, I want you to be fundamentally who you are. And for me, if you are your authentic self and some of these more important things, you know, you got it right, then the other fringe of mind, things I could deal with. You know, we all have habits that each other won't like.
So,
Go ahead.
sorry for cutting. Where does finances rank in that scale of your
Heavily. I was
Very heavy.
I was just going to if you got no financial sense, you're terrible with money, I ain't trying to be an accountant or a financial advisor. I don't teach you. You gotta get it together somehow. Sorry.
Okay.
And the thing is,
go beyond us already.
and the thing is, I think it needs to be taught since when you are in that first 7 years. Because I saw this video the other day that was talking about hypnosis. In the first 7 years of your life, you could actually hypnotize your child into what you want them to be. Yes, right? So like within those years, like even with my son, he'd be like, Mommy, I want. First off, it'd be like, I would like. Right? That's the first thing. And then it's like, nope, Mommy can't do this today.
Correct.
Even though I can do it. Nope, I cannot do this. Nope, you can't get this. No, I don't have money. And then one of my little brothers used to be like, oh, you don't have money to buy this. Because that's how he used to say it, right? And then you'd be like, yeah, you have money, but you don't have money to do
Right.
this specific item right now. And to me, teaching them from a child, and like Troy was saying, you can't teach them when there's a grown adult trying to bend that tree. So hopefully parents out there with the children, you know, try and at least put it into their, start from now, start financial management from when they're a child.
You're making some people hopeless to get to partners when you're doing that.
Because let me tell you, right? I won't sit here and say like I don't spend money. Like when it comes to clothing, I'm looking cute. Right? My Shein cart is very thick right now.
That cart
right?
stays full.
It stays full. But like I wouldn't check out until I know I'm able
Precisely,
to actually
yeah.
be able to afford it and still have some sort of cushion. Because if Brian would tell you, like if I say I'm broke, she's not broke. She just have a limit that she can't pass. And she ain't passing the limit. No matter, unless you sick, dying or something.
Precisely.
We're not passing that limit.
That's a very good principle to live your life by. I have that limit as well. Regardless of whatever is happening, unless it's a critical or an emergency, I ain't spending it. So sometimes it might be with a young lady that wants you to buy a new outfit to go out, but you already reached your limit. I ain't gonna buy a new outfit, or we just stay home if you're gonna be vexed about that. Or you buy it for me. All right. So Candacy, I want to direct this question to you now. I have some scenarios that I want us to investigate and give some advice to persons who may be going through things like this. And lots of persons are going through these things silently. And they may not have an avenue or a platform to voice some of these feelings they may be going through. So we're going to bring it to light here this afternoon on Common Sense and hopefully help somebody watching. So building a business in Guyana takes time, but how long should you be willing to wait? Scotty works a full-time job at GRA. Rihanna is split between doing part-time work and running her business. Scotty doesn't think her business is making enough money and has been urging Rihanna to cut all losses like Villian and get a real job. Scotty believes that her entrepreneurial hopes are holding them back from enjoying their best life. Should the couple move forward or should they go their separate ways?
Okay.
That was a tough one.
I think, yeah, it is a tough one. Because on one hand, I understand not wanting to work that 9 to 5. I understand having ambitions outside of sitting behind a desk with a real job. But then on the other hand, I understand the stability of a quote unquote real job, that 9 to 5, that you have your salary to look forward to every single month. You know what I mean? So I think in that scenario, they definitely need to communicate. I will always preach communication is the key. So what I would say, my advice would be have a conversation with each other and figure out, like, have the hard conversation that, when you're in love or you googly-eyed and stuff like that, you may not want to think about, losing this person, or coming to the realization that perhaps this person isn't as compatible with me as I need them to be my best self. So yeah, I would say communication. You talk to that person and you guys need to figure out, okay, am I going to be a clutch while you're on this journey? Let's set some sort of a time frame. Like, okay, you have like the next 3 years. We're going to pour into this. We're going to invest. If this doesn't work out, this is going to be plan B. This is what we're going to do. And I think if both parties can't come on that, on the same level, on the same page, to say, well, all right, cool, this is our plan, we're going to stick to it, this is what we're going to do moving forward, then perhaps it is healthier for your state of mind, for you to, move forward how you want to. If you guys go your separate ways, I'm a big fan of that. So, yeah.
There's so much questions there, though. It's like, Scotty, are you encouraging her? Scotty,
What are you
like,
doing?
How long has the business been in operation?
Been in operation.
You can't shut you down after 1 year.
Scotty sound like he's so scared. Like, let me tell you, right? There are people in this life that are born entrepreneurs. And there are people in this life that are born for government work, 9 to 5. And you have to realize that difference, right? So Scotty can't just up and tell the girl, sorry, but shut down this thing, go walk somewhere for somebody.
Don't chase your dreams.
And then on the other end, if I'm to play the devil's advocate, you gotta understand it from Scotty's perspective as well. Perhaps he's feeling burdened. We don't know how long Scotty been in this situation. We don't know how long he's been pouring in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like from both ends, you gotta look at it.
Yeah.
So the advice would be for Scott and Rihanna to have a conversation and set timelines.
Absolutely.
This
Goals and
business,
timelines.
whether or
Candy
not
said,
it has been around for 5 years or 3 years, whatever, look, we give in this business 2 more years. This is how we're moving forward. We're going to put some money into the social media marketing.
Yep.
We're going to put some more flyers in government offices, businesses.
Right.
And let's see what happens in the next 2 years. If we're not able to, Rihanna, you can go to teleperformance or qualify in the meanwhile.
Absolutely.
Let me get a stable
Get some
finance
income
coming in.
coming in.
And then
probably be able to now reinvest,
Absolutely.
into that
And
business.
I think just to add to the point that I made, I think what a lot of people need to understand that in relationships, of course, if it's a serious long-term thing that you head into marriage or you got thoughts of going there, I think that people need to understand it's not always fair. It's not always that 50-50, right down the middle split all the time, because there are going to be times where Scotty might need Rihanna to clutch on something that he's not that good at. And so she comes in and now she's now contributing maybe 60% of her energies into this thing. So at one time, it's not always going to be 50-50. It's going to be maybe I pouring in 70 and you pouring in 30 because that's what you can do right now, and then vice versa.
And your shirt is 100.
It's always-
And your shirt is 100.
Exactly.
That conversation is very important.
Yep.
Something just came to my mind. It wasn't scripted, but is your partner obligated to support your entrepreneurial endeavor?
If you're married, hell yeah.
100%.
What are you talking about?
100%.
Like how?
And if we're not married, then like
What
for
you
me,
do-
that's going to be a defining point.
Yeah.
I need to see, okay, you on my side, or do I pop the question tomorrow? Are you a ride or die? Or so for me,
Yeah.
100%.
But the question is your partner obligated? The partner, we're asking the question of a partner, you're my partner.
So whatever you do.
Right,
Like,
exactly.
If I come to Brian tomorrow and say, I
Yes.
set up I fed up with this going to work thing. If I come to him tomorrow we could have that real conversation. Nah, girl. We can't jump into this
Just yet.
fully.
Right.
Give yourself end the year or next year if you still feel this way.
You gotta talk about it.
You have to.
You gotta talk about it.
Communication is key.
Shout out to my job though, because I love it.
And failure to support that partner in his or her entrepreneurial endeavors is
Means you're not a partner.
It means you're not a partner.
Like if you guys have the discussion and it makes sense, you see the vision. It's not like if the person come with some helter-skelter idea. Like they come to you with something well thought out and you have the means to do it. Then why not? Like if you're partners, why not? I don't understand why.
Scamming, you're
As a
scamming.
partner, you have a responsibility. As a partner, you have a responsibility to be a partner.
Absolutely.
If you think that this is not a good idea, it's not a good idea,
say-
babes.
No, and I think that's one of the things that a lot of people in this day and age too don't like to do. They don't like to hear healthy criticism. So
Yeah.
if they come up and like if I tell Brian, stop in the talking. Like when he comes to me and he give me this grandiose idea and I sit down and I listen in and in my head it's like, you think this through carefully? Not like you think this through carefully. So you have to make room for your partner or whoever you're with to be able to be honest and open
Absolutely.
with you. And a lot of people in these days can't be honest and open with their significant other, and it's a very sad situation because like I would know, literally I know how much Brian would make. He'd be like write the invoices when we get any monies from the clients or whatnot. He'd be like, hey, finance woman, get on the
Call
phone.
them.
When I call them, it'd be like, yes, Miss Harris, XYZ. Because he's frightened because I'm like, nah, I'm a pop this right now.
But another thing there, Matthew.
Pull up with
Another
the
thing
blinky.
too is about, and this might be a little touchy one, partners knowing each other finances.
Yes,
I don't know
finances.
how to lean into.
Yes.
That is a touchy thing because I'm comfortable in letting my wife know, hey, I charge this person so much.
Yes.
And if I'm not the person to run down money, I don't even do.
I can run it down. I'm sorry.
I'm comfortable with letting her know this is the money we got outstanding.
Yes.
Follow up again. But I know that their relationships exist where the person don't know how much you making.
Yeah, like when I get my contract, it's just he got all the files.
They
So
don't know.
literally get
So
the
that'd be
shit.
problematic.
I was reading a thread on Facebook once. Sometimes I just go through the comments and just, read through. A thread where they were going off like, why my partner want no? And like, I was baffled. I was like, what do you mean? How are you guys partners? How are you guys together? And the person don't know how much you making?
Know how much you make.
I had a friend tell me, I was talking to a guy,
That
he
was
was like,
crazy to me when I saw
I tell you, my wife followed up with this money. She's like, she know how much you make, how much you charge. I'm like, yeah, she know. He's like, I can't tell you, I can't.
I
Wow.
heard that before.
And the thing is,
Yeah, that was
it's
crazy.
really crazy because at the end of the day, you don't trust your partner.
Yeah.
Because if you can't tell your partner how much you're making, it seems like it's coming from a place
Of distrust,
If
exactly.
I tell this person how much I'm making, they can probably spin it out, or they can probably,
You shouldn't be a partner.
make plans for something
For my
else.
money. Yeah.
But the thing is, at the end of the day, they can't make plans unless you're making it together.
Right.
So it's me coming to you and telling you, hey, we got this money coming in. Oh, shucks, I needed a new shoe. No, we can't.
no, we doing
We
this.
can't get a
Right.
new shoe right
Correct.
now. We gotta buy this microphone for the business, or we gotta buy this camera for the business. If you have that real conversation with your partner, then you would be able to have
You see your way.
Adjacent to that, was a huge, we were talking about red flags, was a huge green flag to me. Look for somebody who isn't afraid to come to you, like consult with you before, if you're in a relationship setting. If they don't consult with you before spending, like at the very least say, well, I'm about to buy this, I'm about to do this, I'm about to spend this, I'm about to utilize our finances in this way. If they can at least notify you, something is wrong to me.
Like, let me tell you, like back in the day, we did have, and we're not sitting here to say, it's all on the up and up in our relationships, because like even in your relationships, you have to work and keep repeating to ensure that it's bettered or successful. Because back in the day, Brian. Love a sad story, let me tell you. Brian loves a sad story. If somebody come to him and say, my mother ill, my this, the this, he gonna give it and he would not tell me that he gave it. I had to be like, excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir. You can't just be giving out money just like we got things to do.
Exactly. This is our money now.
Exactly.
Understand that.
Right? And this is where we have to know pivot and change, because even if I give in $10 to my mother, right? This is not your mother, your grandmother, and nobody like that. And if I give in something to my mother or my father, I come to him before I do it and I'd be like, hey, mom, them need XYZ. They said they're gonna do it XYZ time. Right? But uncle had to learn, right? And that's the thing. If they're willing to learn and to just pivot a little bit, then it's hard for you though. You
Know your strengths and weaknesses as well. If you put something simple, if you put grocery shopping up to me, we'd probably spend $60,000 every week on groceries. $100,000 I could just throw in. So I realized that's not my strength.
Yes.
So I just hand over the responsibilities right there. I ain't good with
Yeah,
it.
remember buying 5 mangoes for 3,000. I don't understand.
Like, oh, this is the price? Okay, let me give you all. Shut up and take my money.
There you go.
Essentially.
I remember going to the island, she's like, what were you doing? Why you? All right, you do it.
The other part of it is that
This is the first time match. You never talk so much.
there is a con to giving her all the money. There is a con to it, but it's a con that I will accept. Because when it comes to eventful days,
Yes.
I mean money.
I say emotional person.
So I can't buy the rose for Valentine.
I don't want
I
rose.
can't buy the thing for your birthday. So that's where it becomes a bit difficult, and you might got to, maybe I might have to
Siphon out some money.
consider taking back a little bit of art. Again, I find change that you know about. I get one job that you know about. And I get this stash, but this for your birthday. So
And that I understand.
that's
That I understand. You know what I want? I want those cue cards. Money.
I've been wanting. Listen,
Like,
for Valentine's Day, I want to do
this
it.
one,
I want to do that,
these
yeah.
things.
social media is the
So no, right? I sent it to him. And Harry now, so I was like, I want to take like money and Harry or more of me, right? I'm like, Brian, whatever it is, just get it done. Just get
social
it
media
done.
is the devil. Rock the beast. Social media.
All right, so we're coming live from Java Coffee Bar. We're having a very interesting discussion on marriage and finance, relationship and finance, and dating and finance. Now, I want to direct this question to Jasmin, even I think I know her
You like
answer.
me, you know?
I know her answer based on what she said
you
thus
like
far.
me. You can look at me.
Right?
Now.
You're dating.
You could look at me.
Yeah, I'm looking at you. On the camera. All right, so Brian, when you met him in 2012, he's this perfect guy.
Love it, man.
Everything that you want in a man,
10 points match.
except that he was broke.
Okay.
What would you do in a situation like that? He's perfect, everything that you need, but broke.
I could go ahead. So let me tell you, right? It might have been a situation, when I met Brian, that it was actually that, right? But in my life, I honestly believe if you see something that has potential, like when you add it and you water it, look at him now, look at he's sexy. Randy ugly, let me tell you, right? But to me,
Jasmin, so let me upgrade you, sir. Let me upgrade you. On her fiance shit.
I know you beat the block, but
I'm the light to keep the streets off. Period.
Right? So,
Period.
So this is when I saw Brian, I saw somebody that had because he still has it. His mind and his brain is like how this boy's mind and brain works. It's just
These things at night.
right.
These are not no.
And the thing to me is like he had so much potential, but like I just need to bring the opportunities to that potentiality.
That's some direction, yeah.
Direction, right? Because the thing is, if it's not broke doesn't mean you have a broke mentality. Broke does not mean it, but if you have a broke mentality, then that's where I'm gonna be like, you could sit right there. You could be cute, you could be handsome and all of that, but I'm gonna leave you right there, right? So it's just when you, and if you notice, when there's a woman and there's a man, and they come together. The woman is cute, nice, whatever, and she sees some. This is why there's always want to know why ugly boys get such a nice girl, right? But when you bring that purpose to a man's life, it's like he going to find land. He going, I gotta get a new job for upgrade. Because where he was, it's like, all right, I'm good with this. I could make $80,000 a month. Nothing really wrong with that. But then when a woman comes into your life and she keeps pushing you, and she keeps encouraging you, and she keeps, saying, babe, you could do this, you got this. And then you see how much potential that they actually have. It could be a beautiful thing. And look where we are today. And we're making another child because, let me tell you, right? Because when I look at, and this is another thing, don't be going and getting one such a children if you can't mind them, right?
Children are expensive.
Children are so expensive. Let me tell you, I get this grant, and then it went right back into school fees. And then I had to put extra money on top of it.
It felt like nothing.
It was nothing, right? To go and pay those
But thank
school
you.
fees. But thank you, yes, I loved it. I didn't have to pay
100%,
$5,000,
right.
I just had to pay like a little extra 20 something, right? But at the end of the day, it's like you need to ensure. Oh God, I lost my point, babe.
Let's
Help
not
me.
have more children that we need.
Oh
to.
yes,
Yeah.
good. Because in my life, I've always told Brian, I'm like, at the end of the day, I need to ensure that my generations coming, they could build on what I have. Because I've built on what my mother provided for me. Thankfully, my parents ensured that, every one of us had a house. It was difficult, it was hard, but they ensured, and they made 4 children, Father God, but they ensured that all their children at least had a house. So now, in my head, I'm thinking, my son at least has to have a house. So when he marry a potential daughter over here, right? Akira.
You're bad father. I don't know.
Akira, right? So when he gets that woman in his life, and to me, I want to allow him to know the wealth, quote unquote, that he has upcoming, because he also has to learn struggle. Because I saw this documentary where it said, when people work hard to ensure that their children do good, that generation does good. But then the next one after it, they start dwindling a little bit because they're too privileged, they've got too much, they spoil too much, and they know everything they got, so they're not studying as hard, they're not doing what they need to do, right? So it's ensuring that you shape and fashion them. So in order for me to get another child, I gotta get another house, and I think I could afford it right now.
Both of you guys are in your 30s?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm the youngest person on the panel, right? And
Weird flex, but okay.
I can see that there's a generational divide from millennials to Gen Z, I think we are.
Oh, God. Gen Z's special.
Many
Claiming Gen Z? Gen Z?
He's a Gen Z.
I'm a Gen
You
Z.
claiming it? I want to claim it.
I don't really want to claim it indeed.
Don't claim it.
Unfortunately, I'm not though. Most of the women within my age group, I hear the word potential
You're
being
dating
mentioned.
outside your age group?
That's not a bad thing.
You're dating outside
I prefer older women.
millennials.
Millennials.
You like millennials?
Yeah.
That's why you
Or
can't
even
look at people.
even women with my age group that have millennial mindset.
Oh, that's why you can't look at me when you're talking.
Back to the question.
Let's keep it on track.
I hear the word potential being used a lot, but you hear a lot of young women nowadays saying they don't have time to wait on a man with potential. They want
Well, then they're going to wait on no.
they want the house to already be constructed. They don't have time to go through the building of the foundation, putting the painting and everything else that goes in the construction.
Right.
They want an already furnished house. What advice would you give to those women? Because I don't know if they realize this yet, but those are the same women that constantly post about them being single all the time, Because there are not a lot of men that come already furnished, especially growing up in a country whereby many of us come from single parent homes. Or even if we grew up in a nuclear family, the finances weren't always there. So it's very difficult to come already furnished.
Right.
What advice would you give to those young women?
If I may. No, that topic you talk about the Gen Z.
I'm going to come back to you, but the question is Candace.
You not
Thank you, Matthew.
You not try a question.
All right, so I can only speak from my own perspectives and my own values and so on. I think for me personally, at different ages or periods of my life, I was looking for different things in a partner. So for me, back when I was 21, 22, 23, for me personally, I was willing to, oh, okay, I met someone my own age or maybe a few years older or whatever. I see the drive in them. I see the potential. I see that, well, they ain't got a broke boy mentality, for lack of a better term. I could work with that because I know that, well, all right, cool, we're on the same level. You ambitious, I'm ambitious. We want to climb to the top. This is what we, and I was more willing to work with that. So you being broke, it wasn't like a red flag or it wasn't a deal breaker for me as a young woman. However, as a 30-year-old woman, no.
Try better, don't be broke.
Right. So I don't want this to sound harsh, but for me, brokenness is a deal breaker. No. What I will say to sort of cushion that, because I don't want to sound like that gold digging B, but for me, I'm very, very into this is where I am, and I'm going to look for a partner that bring in what I have. For me now, I guess because I'm older and you look for a little more security as an older woman. I need a partner that's gonna be on my level. However, I'm not saying that, well, I ain't gonna do nothing for myself. I can just look cute, get my hair done, get my nails done, and then, all I bring into the table is a word that we can't say. Good. Right. All I can offer is physical. I know that, well, I am full. My cup is full. I need somebody that come in with their full cup and we could make a mug, if that makes sense.
And the thing about it too is like in relationships, what people don't know is that you need to grow together.
Absolutely.
Because the thing is, if I continue to go like this and like I keep looking back for like where are you?
Right. And that puts a strain on your relationship as well.
It does.
You know what I mean? So ultimately, I think my advice is ensure that what you're asking for, you have.
You could provide.
So if you know you want a man that got a big $1 million mansion and a Bugatti, and you better have that as well.
Yes.
That's how I look at it. I'm not saying that.
Yes.
Exactly. So know what you bring to the table, because I know a lot of women just be like, how I don't bring nothing to the table when I see the table. Like, girl, flex. However, I believe in have what you ask for.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like when you're on this level, I feel like you attract people on that level as well. And
I get some flies though sometimes.
You do.
Ready flies.
Yeah, you do. And that's why I think dating is so important.
Yes.
A lot of Caribbean, Guyanese women don't get to date. You start talking to somebody today, and from the time you go on a date with them, y'all there. And then for women, it's so much harder because
it's such a taboo.
Today I can go on a date with Troy, then tomorrow I might go on a date with Matthew.
Cannot do that.
Right.
Cannot.
Already you can hear, she's a whore, she's a gold digger, but no, I'm exploring my options, and that's normal. I encourage women to do that.
So if you've got this expectation of, like I've been saying, right? If you got this expectation of a man who's ready to mate, you gotta know that if you ain't coming with what he got already, then he expecting you, like you said, follow these rules, and you got to be willing to compromise to what he wants, because sometimes it might take, I see this man I want to see, because the man off making this money to provide this lifestyle, but the man also expects, a certain level of fidelity, a certain level of modesty, all these things these guys might expect.
Tell you for where we're
and I think the women in those sort of setups, for me, how I look at it, they put themselves at such a disadvantage. I mean, fine, if you're the type of woman that, you can cook a hot meal 3 times a day, make sure your clothes wash, your clothes for what if that's you, girl, get your bread. Do you. However, for the ones that are like, oh well, no man can't control me, but then at the same time you depend on his bank account alone. You know what I mean? Like, you're right. You set up a situation where this man gonna put his foot down and what you gonna do? Leave?
And you know
Because who paying the bills?
Just how you walk in, it sounds ready made, but you left it, it gonna be ready made just like that.
For the next one passing.
You know,
Yeah.
you know what is funny though is that a lot of women preach equity or equality.
Yeah, there's
and
equality.
They
not equity.
want equality. But until like I could live a bottle of water by myself, I could shave my tire. To me, there's equality,
right?
Because at the end of the day, you gotta be able to know what songs are you carry. You can't go to the mechanic and say, I don't know. No, you look cute to me like, please help me, damsel in distress. Because you can't have one and one the other. You can't get a cake and one.
Like I'm a feminist up to this point.
Up to this
like
point.
the feminism just leave my body when it comes to like that's it.
Let me tell
I believe
you.
in equity.
Let me tell you.
Equal
the only
opportunities
thing
to
I
women.
want is to be paid. If me and John do the same work,
Absolutely.
he must be paid
Absolutely.
the same thing. But at the end of the day, I be lifting back squats 200 or something pounds. But at the end of the day, Brian lifting the water into the car because it's not gonna be me.
Right, this soft life. Come
It's
on.
not gonna be me.
I got an analogy that I like to use when I talk about equality. I believe in equality, obviously, but like, okay, 2 plus 2 is equal to 4, right? 3 plus 1 is equal to 4 as well, but those aren't the same
Nope.
equations.
Nope.
So this 4 might not be the same as this 4, even though they're equal.
Yep.
It might be 2 parts this and 2 parts that, and the other one
3
might be
parts
3
of
parts of
one.
1 part that.
That's a good thing.
Come
I like
through with
that.
that
Love
I
it.
don't like
Wisdom.
mutton, that's so nice.
Yes.
Excellent stuff, you know, man. Troy,
Yeah.
they said I didn't ask you a question.
You're up.
So
You're
I
up,
wanna
John.
direct this one to you
Put me
first.
on the hot seat.
Tina and Kevin.
Who's Tina?
Not the guy who's Tina and Kevin.
There's a guy, you seen it?
Are in your late 20s. Kevin was the primary breadwinner for most of the relationship and covered all the bills, including the rent.
Right.
Tina was pursuing her studies at the Wooding Law School virtually when it was school. Tina graduates and becomes an attorney at law and starts to earn double Kevin's salary.
Tina make him bad.
Real situation.
Tina still wants Kevin to continue covering all the bills.
Tina stupid.
Kevin believes that
Tina
since he's
knows.
earning significantly more, the bill should be split. This has caused some friction in the relationship. What advice would you give to both parties?
Well, we've been talking about communication, so this first and foremost. But I think Tina's a little unrealistic in the way she wants to go about things. If we're a partnership, the finance is supposed to be for the partnership. If you bring in a bigger bag, well, you can handle a little bigger responsibility, especially when I was handling everything when you didn't have it. It's just a role reversal. I always say, if you can be with somebody that you're willing to do this for, just be sure that they're willing to do it for you as well. I'm a little bit getting a little personal. When I first met my wife, I was unemployed, right? Just out of UG, left my job and then find another one, and it took me 2 years to get back into work, right? And this girl would invite me to come out, and I just be like, nah, because I'm of the opinion that if you're working, you can't do for this girl, and I need to be the product that I want. So I realized, try it looking outside. This girl ain't coming out, we're going on. Anyhow, we went out. We got to know each other a little more in person, whatever. She actually helped me to get the first job after university, and I took off since then. But do you think I can ever forget that?
Flourishing.
Tell these people about cancer
Hold it
women.
down for me.
Tell
when
them
I
about the
had-
cancer women.
No, the tables are flipped. She's pursuing her masters. Go get your stuff. If they ain't paying you what you want, don't want them. Simple.
But the thing about why I would question though is what Tina's saving up for.
Like she would have left the back.
Tina got plans.
That does not involve Kevin.
Tina got plans.
Kevin might got a legal case against you.
Yes.
This might
I invested in you.
Reimburse me, exactly.
But to answer the question, definitely talk about it. This should have been something that they decided on way before.
But the thing is, Kevin trying to talk to her about it from this scenario.
Tina been brainwashed by your socialization.
Yeah, Tina's no
And
like
she feel
me
that.
money.
Here's the
Me
thing. That's
money,
such
and
a
me
true
money.
thing. That's such a true thing because I remember, again, getting a little personal. The first time I had a boyfriend, I was maybe about 17 or so. That's what we'll tell the public. I was I was out of school and something, because my mom, she is this weird day and night. I was raised with my grandmother, and so my grandmother would have been the one responsible for instilling my values and how I see life and so on. So I was telling my mom about my boyfriend and so on. And after that conversation, I told her, "Oh, Mom, I gotta get this. Could you buy this for me?" She's like,
You got a boyfriend.
"I gotta buy it for you. I don't. Well, what do you mean?" I'm like, "But you always buy this particular thing for me." She's like,
You got
I won't say what she told me verbatim because my mother is very explicit. But it includes a pension and a certain body part. But essentially, she was like, "You can't have a boyfriend. You're probably doing big people's story and asking me for money. That don't make sense." Because that's how she was raised. Like her mom and her mom before, it's like, "All right, cool. You got a man. He better provide." Like, we're ready to give up. Like,
And there's a thing I think even in today's society too, like how we, and especially because you guys have a girl child too, like how people raise their girl children is to depend on a man, right? And you should not be raising your girl child to depend
Absolutely.
on a single person, right? Other than herself and being self-sufficient.
factual.
Right? So I think that is another thing in society. The God is saying, you tie you and I can loose me, and those types of things that we, it's
Regressive thinking.
yeah.
Dead people peer pressure.
That, right? And it's so different now than it was before because Granny used to be at home, Granny used to be pushing out all the children, Granny used to be cooking, cleaning, this, that, and the third. And we don't do that in this day and age. So we can't continue to instill in our girl children, hear me, childs, Father God, in our girl children especially, that they need to depend on a man to buy them all these different things in life. We can't.
Brian, on the topic of,
How we got such a good wife?
How does it feel to be God's favorite wife?
Hey, how does it feel, Brian?
many of our I'm back to Gen Z because I know you like bashing them. Love it.
Oh, wow.
Many of the women say, "My money is my money." His
Your
money
money is our money.
my
I just make the joke, though. I just make the joke kind of thing.
What are your thoughts on that statement? And also, many couples pursue joint accounts.
Who does that?
It's very popular.
Future them kind of thing.
It's very popular still, even in Guyana and further afield. Do you have any? I don't mean to get into your business, right? Do you have
said
any
getting into the
something like that in your marriage? And is it something that you would advise others to get into? And at what point in the relationship should they pursue a joint account? Because we've heard many sad stories in Guyana.
One person took out all the money in Ghana.
That's tough.
I know people that have literally run crazy because they went to the bank and they just saw zero. I was on a taxi 2 weeks ago at PT Cabs, and the man was venting about how he bought the car in the woman's name, and then they broke up. Now he can't work. He got borrowed somebody's car to work. How can you? What advice would you give to men particularly? Because it may sound silly,
He sounds scared.
but it's something that is happening a lot. Because sometimes you get blinded by the love and other things. What advice would you give to them? There's a lot of questions in one. Now you might have to break it down again.
That's a lot, much. Couple things. Firstly, when it comes to joint accounts, I don't have a problem with joint accounts. It could be advantageous depending on what you're doing. For example, if person A and person B have two different salary scales, and then you need to go for a mortgage or a loan, putting the monies together would make you more advantageous in getting that loan.
Right.
So you can have a joint account, and also you should have separate accounts. You should have an account for you, and she should have an account for her, and also have a joint account. My way of doing finances was to give my wife the monies because I was confident in her ability to manage those finances.
Still take out all the money.
So even though we have separate accounts, she still got all the cards then, essentially. So it comes to the other point of how you choose. You like to choose stupidness. You love to it's a fault of ours, you know.
The other day, remember you
Always
said,
talking about men.
Man, yeah. We choose stupidness.
remember you said the other day, if you pick nonsense and looking for senses,
We just go off of what we see. Just, sometimes what we see in front of me, that's enough sometimes.
You work hard all week and you go in somewhere, you see a thing and you're like, boy. Yeah, boy. Just a weekend. And the weekend it'll be life. Right? It's happening. It's reality. But we have to be, at some point in time, level-headed enough to realize that when we choose, we gotta choose carefully. Choose strategically.
Absolutely.
So that you don't end up in the long term in that situation, whereas you buy the car in she name and she get with it. It might be advantageous to buy the car in her name because you taxes in Narda, but she taxes in Narda. This is the reality that we live in and exist in. So I wouldn't bash somebody for doing that because you have to be able to navigate this complex financial system we find ourselves in Guyana. Sometimes GRA might tell you that, hey, you missing tax returns or some time ago.
throw it in the box.
And then you have an opportunity to buy a car and you gotta do it in this female's name or your partner's name. You gotta do these things.
Yeah.
You want a mortgage, but you gotta join yourself together because you only making a little fine change, but she want these woman-owned businesses and she getting all the investment, them going to she business. So I can't go and get this loan by myself. I gotta get she with me. So for me, what is important is how you choose that partner. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm saying be judicious in how you choose your partner.
Know who
So
you're
that you're
with.
able to make those financial plans that is beneficial to both of you.
And I mean, I'm spiritual too, so I would always include, hey, talk to God and ask if this person that you really need to go with. Because
God had to talk to me to
Brian,
take care of my wife, God had to say,
he said, save her.
God said, Brian, you're necessary to come into her life
Save her.
to give her some amount of balance.
Balance in my
Balance
life.
the extraness.
No matter what it is,
Just gotta
Brian,
get God to it.
we were
involve it as
engaged
well.
in like 9 months. 9
Because
months.
God spoke to me, which man's the thing in these day and age?
Nobody. Not a soul.
There's a wild move.
Just to add on the topic though, there's one or two ways obviously you could go about it. You could put your trust in your partner and you have a joint account or joint investments and just trust that the person is going to honor the arrangement. But I feel like even if you're doing business with, how they said don't mix business with friends and family.
Yep.
Similarly, even if you're doing business with your partner, sometimes jotting stuff out in black and white might be important. It's not that you got intentions of, I could do this to my wife or she could do this to me, but it keeps everybody honest. There's some recourse should things go wrong. We know how to navigate if we fall out, or whatever the case may be. So considering that as well, it doesn't mean that, we don't trust each other, or there's a relationship founded on distrust, but maybe a relationship founded on common sense. I'll do it often. But it seems like a very common sense thing though,
Modern relationships and we're modern people, we have to do these things with some level of modernity. We can't do this thing like old time.
The next question he asked you was with mine is mine, yours is yours. I say it all the time though.
Again, these things is not cut and dry. Right? If she's saying mine is mine and yours is mine, and when at the end of the month she got $500,000 in the bank and she's saying out of my money I went and invest in this, by all means boo-boo. Right? If you're saying mine is mine and yours is mine and she's financially prudent, and if anything happened, she got the back, she got
Exactly.
this,
She takes care of it,
by all means boo-boo.
Women always got to
You
reserve
understand?
fund.
But if you're saying mine is mine and yours is mine, and then pressuring buys. I need this, I need that, I need all.
Oh, this bill due today, this or the...
One
Mine is yours, deal with it.
help me.
But I would ask how yours is yours and mine is yours. When I know your account number, I know the card part, like, the pin on the card, everything I know. So
Yeah. So if
She
she
clearly sharing this.
if she wants to, if a female or a woman decides that, that is her philosophy, I have no problem with it for as long as it is towards our both benefit. That's it.
I feel a lot of people with the philosophy just run into problems. That's what I feel.
Yeah, that's true.
I feel unless you're saying it like, just out of pure irony, and you're being unironic about it, intentional and serious, then you got a skewed way of looking at life.
Yeah.
A real skewed way.
for trouble.
Yeah.
Recipe for trouble.
As we prepare to pull the curtains down, the proverbial curtains, I asked this question. I had a panel titled Friends and Money. And we were discussing the different values that different friends may have. So, for example, you may like going on vacations. You hold that highly, and your friend in the vacation type, you just want to do games night or go to restaurants and so forth. And you might not want your money to be spent on those things, and he might not want to spend his money on vacations. So the different priorities or different values.
Are we friends with talking like platonic friends or?
Yeah, platonic.
Okay.
Now, I'm giving you the scenario it was previously in my previous episode now. I'm now bringing it to a relationship.
Okay.
You're a man. You guys spoke about having that balance and extra laid back. She might want to go to a different country every month or every, hypothetically speaking.
He's crazy.
You have no interest in traveling. You just want to buy some new Jordans and get fancy clothes or whatever. How do you manage that difference in values and priorities when it comes to spending?
For me, I'm an easygoing person. In terms of what she wants to do, I'm usually going to compromise and just be a part of the experience. Learn about some new thing, go to a new destination, wherever it is. Even though I might be more okay with being at home and relaxing. But again, as long as it's not a financial burden or it doesn't put us in the red in any way, then we budgeted for it. That's fine. Let's do it. There are enough times I don't really want to go nowhere. She's like, let me go eat here, go there, do whatever. We got money for it. We already budgeted for it. Let me go out and have a night out. All right, sure, let's do it. And we out, we gone. Budgeting is a big part of what we do. Knowing how much is coming in, knowing where it's going, how it's being spent. So we always know when we got money to do this or do that. So
how much we have.
It's never a situation where she would want to do this and we're financially unable to do it. If we are, then we know that we can do it.
What happens when, let's say, you guys budget to go out twice a month, but Jasmin and Brian wants to go out every week, and they want you guys to come with them.
It's like a mystery.
And Candacy, she
I'm with the shit.
she's with the shit, basically.
Hypothetically,
And you start to spend more than what you budgeted for. And you as a man, you raise this thing and it constantly keeps happening. How?
In this scenario, we have a family, a child, everything.
Yeah.
All the same. Damn. That's tough. No, I feel like, so in our relationship, we both hold like veto power. So obviously we give each other the freedom to make your own choices. She could tell me, when she feels like, this is definitely something that you shouldn't do. I using my veto power here. And then I gotta be like, all right, maybe she sees something that I don't. And I got to trust her judgment on this one. Likewise, if she insisted on going out and I realize financially this is a red flag, I use my veto power on the one, bro. If she go against the veto power, then clearly she's saying, well, I want to cause a problem here. But usually we don't have that problem. So I would use my veto power in the one.
And piggybacking off of that, I just want to stress the importance of budgeting. Like, I cannot budget. And I guess at the bottom of that, again, is communication. I probably sound like a broken record, but it's extremely important in your relationship. Budgeting, planning, because we know that, well, all right, we can give ourselves entertainment allowance, maybe 60,000, 7,000, how much ever for the month or whatever.
Ooh, that's
and
high.
it's an example.
That's high.
It's an example, right?
Hypothetical amount. I'm not saying.
A hypothetical, right? A hypothetical amount.
Chess.
But yeah, you might give yourself a little cushion to say that, well, okay, so this is the budget, but I know I got a little 10,000 here that I could, I could step out, I could, I got a little bit, right. But it's so important to budget so you understand that, well, okay, this is about as far as I can go.
Yep.
In terms of going out with Jasmin and Brian, the one dang every weekend or whatever. Mm-hmm. This is, I could make it for two weekends. Mm-hmm. I can't make it for all 4 of the weekends in the month. I can make it for 2. I could wiggle a little home line, you know what I mean? But budgeting plays such a huge role where that's concerned. And being willing to stick
to that budget.
To the budget, yeah.
I remember when, like early on, when I first started working, I used to pay myself a salary out of my salary. Mm-hmm. Like that was one of the ways that I used to budget. I used to be like, all right, if 80 grand got saved or 100,000 got saved or whatever, and I pay myself 60,000, because when I was down, I did living on 60,000. Mm-hmm. So, and you always try to live a little below whatever your income threshold is. Mm-hmm. So if you bring $300,000 in every month, don't try to live a $300,000 lifestyle. Right. Live maybe a $200,000 lifestyle. Mm-hmm. Look for somebody. So you always got residuals, the extra, the surplus.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, so we actually have this thing by us, like we do it like every other day or every other year, because as y'all realize, I'm the social one. Mm-hmm. Brian doesn't like people, right? So every time my friends would always laugh at me, once you go and buy Jasmin, I bring something. Hell yes. So whenever you come and buy us, it's a potluck. I'm not Jesus. I don't.
He can't turn water.
No, please, I can't feed 1,000 people. So every time you go and buy Jasmin, 1 and 2 times, I might, and they might be watching this and stop lying, Jasmin. So let me not lie. But when you come by me, it's a potluck we doing. And then like there are certain situations like if they say like we're going out every week, like if I got a really close friend, because we got close friends, Ariel and Shamar, they're really close with us. When we don't have it, then we got it.
Right.
When they don't have it,
vice versa, right.
We got it. And to me, those are the friendships and marriage couple friendships that you need to have. Because honestly speaking, it's hard to have single friends.
Oh God, yeah.
When you're married, and people don't understand that it's hard to have single friends when you're married until they get married, right? So there's so much responsibility, and to me, the way your single friends stay your friends is when they see that responsibility and what you're doing and where your life is going, and as opposed to where theirs might be going, and they understand that, then you are now able to have a better relationship.
It's funny how true it is.
Yeah.
Because most of my friends, like, I'm not saying that we're not friends anymore, but the friends that I'm closer with now are all married. Yes. Like my single friends and I, we're not as close as we used to be.
Because you don't have the same type of understanding.
That man is, we want me and coming and bounce tonight, bro. I can't do that tonight.
Can't bounce.
Like, you don't understand. Like, I can't do that tonight.
Yeah. And I think I got lucky with the friends thing, because my friends, like the ones that I'm always around, they are very like into their passion. So Nicosia and Ray, those are two of my more closer friends, yeah. And like they're so into theater. I gotta be the one to say, okay, let's go out. I better stay home, let's go somewhere. Let's do something, you know what I mean? And even the ones that, are not here or whatever, they understand that, well, okay, we know that you're married. We know that not everything that we do, you can be able to do.
Yes.
So like, let's say they're coming in the country, they give me months notice. Like, all right, here we go. This is what we want to do. We know you got budget. Do your thing. Do your thing. And I think when you get to a certain age as well, whether you're married or you're single, like everybody got shit going on.
Yep.
Everybody got the things that they got to deal with. You know what I mean? So I don't find myself having to turn this friend down. But when I make friends with younger people, young, oh my gosh.
Gen Z.
Yeah.
Gen Z's a good friend. Gen Z's a good friend.
They're fun. I love them.
That is CAWAP. You know what? I like this couple here won't be like them. There's stop sense.
Because we got a couple Gen Z friends.
That's not the typical Gen Zs.
Like Lanzo.
Yes, Lanzo, big shout.
Chelsea, Chelsea. Yeah, she's one of our Gen Z friends.
We keep Gen Z friends as well, who are single people. but it's more of a mentorship type
Yes,
of thing.
you gotta
But we have Gen
Relationship.
Z friends that we
So they're like,
interact with.
hey,
Yeah.
they keep me modern.
Yes.
They let me
Right,
know
right, right.
see,
They can teach you the TikTok dances.
Because your Gen Z friends is the ones that's running in, but hey, you people going on. I'm sorry, bro, I didn't see it.
I had to ask this my friend Jasmin, what is this beef going
Not
on?
me,
Right.
Jasmin. Not this Jasmin.
Yeah, Jasmin Asano.
Jasmin
I
Asano.
said, what is this beef? Explain it to me. Pops didn't know where that.
And they give you all the
And they
tea.
tell me the
With
details of
these
going on.
battles that they were.
Right, right.
Right? And then we were able to like, hey, I like how y'all operate as a couple. What God do?
Yeah.
I got this girl,
No, I was
friend, she
coming
don't
from
understand
advice.
what's going on.
Yeah.
You know, talk the shit for me. And so that type of relationship that we have with the Gen Z
Yeah.
friends that we have.
But they're heading good.
Yeah, they're mad.
I like them on social media. They go to interact with
Entertaining.
Yeah, I love it. But
Yeah.
in person,
You got Gen Z basha matchy, right? I want to be there on that one.
So actually, before we close,
Yes.
I know she said
Sorry.
something about planning for like vacations and whatnot. It's hard to do vacations as you gotta buy 3 tickets. Your son is not 2 anymore, young so you're paying taxes alone. You gotta pay tickets for 3 people.
Full
to go
price.
to Barbados. It's $500 and something dollars times 3. That's
Measure the vacation to the investment. I'm all about investment. I mean,
Yeah.
we're living in a time of extreme economic development. We're living in a time when Guyana is rapidly developing and changing. And we have a unique opportunity.
yeah.
We're born at a sweet spot. My generation was born at the analog digital transition. We are in Guyana, still in our youth, at a transition point. Non-oil economy, oil economy, and all the added services that are coming on board. This is an opportunity for you within the next 3 to 4 years to make an investment
Yep.
that you will see grow exponentially.
Yeah.
If you got buy shares that are
I think
available,
young people don't like do.
if you got to buy shares,
Buy shares.
that might be available, if you got to join together and get a land, so
Yeah.
you could possibly put on some location that might be an Airbnb. You know, if you could,
Apply for land before you actually get married.
Right.
Yeah, do all
if you
those
got
things.
if you got to start a business, whether it be social media, whether it be transportation,
Yeah.
this is the time to do it. Because within the next 5 years, you will see so many people here, so many services here that will need something to
Yeah.
get done.
Yeah.
Invest in yourself and your education. In one of the read.
Preach, Pops,
what are
preach.
the projected areas in which you will need skill sets so you can start investing in your education in it?
Repeat, read.
Yes, read. Right? Right. This is the time for us to do it. And if
Yes.
you're serious about having a partnership, this is the time when you're going to sit down and have that discussion now.
And it's not going out every weekend.
I ain't saying don't fit.
Yeah, but
But remember,
budget for the Fed.
budget for the
Absolutely.
Fed.
Absolutely.
All right, so the Fed is just an addition. The Fed is not in
Not
it's not in
everything.
direction.
and be very realistic about your life and your expectations as well. Don't chase a lifestyle that,
Do you
is
want
out.
to be renting? Yeah,
Exactly,
Correct.
exactly.
You want
And
to
the
be-
thing is, I think like more for the Gen Z, especially, I wish I could see more, and not to say that this is their fault, but I'd love to see more financial literacy being
Like what you gotta show.
pushed, being pushed on a more like, I guess maybe from school even.
Curriculum
You know
level.
what I mean? From the
Yeah.
curriculum level, and you preach this, because for me as a young person being 21, there were a lot of things that I had to experience myself to
Yeah.
know better.
And I think you guys have made a beautiful pitch for potential investors watching. You recognize the need that Guyana has right now
Yeah.
for financial literacy and financial education. And Common Sense is just one platform that is trying as best as I could to provide some amount of education and literacy to our population. So maybe if you want to invest in sponsoring it so I can go to different regions and different countries and all those stuff,
Sponsor him.
Yes.
you can email me. My contact is right. Huh?
Shoot your email at
Yeah, the email is right at the bottom of the screen. The number is there, 643-4900. And
Love that.
let's see how we can build this so that every youth coming out of school has that financial literacy background so that they can be successful in their lives.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to give each of you 30 seconds. We're coming back.
We start plenty.
Coming
Right?
back
I don't know how Jasmin is gonna.
coming back to marriage and relationships and everything.
Yes.
Just 30 seconds of advice to our viewers on how to successfully navigate finances in their relationships?
Trust your partner, communicate, and ensure you guys build that relationship of finances and bringing them together, and also ensuring that you pick right. Because if you pick piss, you shall be missed.
Bars.
Definitely endorse what my wife has said. I focus more on being strategic in how you select your partner. We live in a time when we have to make some difficult decisions to be able to ensure that our next generation inherits significantly and not go through the struggles we went through. So let's choose well, be picky, but don't pick piss.
Yep.
3 points I would always say: budget, plan, communicate. Those are the 3 most important things when it comes to like navigating your relationship from a financial aspect and in many regards as well. But be clear about what it is that you want, where you need to be. Have a plan on how you're going to achieve it together, how you guys are comfortable going about it. And, just budget. Make sure you know where every dollar is going so that you know exactly what you're doing with your finances.
I had some money to plan some things for
Special occasions.
Special occasions, yes.
July is right around the corner.
Yes!
For me, I would say to wrap it up, you guys have literally left nothing more that I can say it because I agree with everything. So just to piggyback on all of that, choose wisely, ensure that you are what you're asking for. Budget, plan, and communication is key. Have the hard conversations. Make sure that this person is compatible with you in every way, not just googly eyes and, we look cute. Exactly. Right. But ensure that they share your values, they see things the way you see it, or they can contribute to how you see it, and you can build and you can, have a successful relationship.
I want to thank all 4 of my guests. You guys have done an excellent job in giving us some guidance and knowledge of how we can successfully navigate our finances and our relationships and our marriages. And I want to let you guys know that this episode is available on YouTube at Common Sense, Instagram at Common Sense. It's also available on Spotify. And we're going to be focusing heavily on the audio-only version as well going forward, because sometimes people just want to plug up their ears and listen to a podcast and not have time to watch the video and all of that. So there is an audio-only option on Spotify. We're going to try to be on Apple Music, Anchor FM. So every single platform that you consume content on, we're going to be there. We're going to be there on TikTok as well. We're going to cut out some snippets of Brian being very passionate about GRA and posts and stuff like that. As well as we're going to be accompanying every episode with a written article now.
Okay.
So if you don't like to watch, you don't like to listen, and you like to read,
You cover everybody.
you cover everybody
That's smart.
through Common Sense and what we're doing this season. So as I said, the plan is to be bigger and better, and I want to encourage you guys to have a wonderful rest of the evening. Share the link with your friends and family, and enjoy your Valentine's, and ensure that he posts you or she posts you.
No.
Bye.
She say she love me till the end of time, but I'm not really up on my mind.